Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about SIEM, which is otherwise a full form known as Security Information and Event Management. So today I'll be talking about how it works, its features, its advantages, as in the advantages and disadvantages, and giving a few examples. So yeah. Okay, so how a SIEM works is that it collects, aggregates, and analyzes volumes of data from organizations, applications, devices, servers, and users, or even better put, is just in any organization's infrastructures in real time. So security teams can detect and block attacks. So this how it works is that the alert will be raised by the SIEM, and a security individual or technically any IT individual can undertake that and use the alert to look what has happened and what not. So SIEM tools also uses predetermined rules to help security teams define threats and generate alerts. So in predetermined rules, examples are like something like we can set the rules such a way, say that detect for a brute force, or detect a zip file is being sent to a particular user or something like that. So the rules can be customized as per our preference, but this is just a small overview of how it works. Yeah, so there are multiple features in a SIEM that allows it to detect and generate alerts. There are quite a number of them, but then today I'll be talking about two, which is user event behavior analytics (EUBA) and security orchestration and security orchestration, automation, and response, or otherwise known as SOAR. So the user event behavior analytics is a technology that models standard behavior for users, endpoints, and network devices, establishing a baseline and intelligently identifying anomalies via advanced analytics and machine learning techniques. So technically what this means is that, let's say a person from HR who isn't supposed to go and look at the logs or try to go system 32 and go through the drivers and look through the host and whatnot, this particular SIEM, not this particular SIEM, but this device SIEM will check and see if the person who not usually does that or has never done it, as in this case a HR individual. It will raise an alert saying that something is not right here, and the security persons will have to go through. So the next is security orchestration and security orchestration, automation, and response, otherwise known as SOAR. So in today's world, as the technology is going forward, SOAR is actually becoming a standalone device. You can see companies like Palo Alto and Swimlane producing stuff that are known as XOR and standalone devices that might eventually succeed SIEM. So technically that's a topic for another day, but how SOAR works is a technology that collects security data, prioritizes incidents, and encodes incident response in a digital workflow format, enabling automation of some or all incident response stages. So SOAR, the only difference is a security SIEM, it just gives out alert, and it gives in how to say, in a tabularized format, showing that what they call what is the possible breach, what is the anomaly, and stuff like that. So SOAR, the difference is it reacts and it automates the process of blocking or not allowing the access and whatnot. So in this case we can say the difference between an IDS and an IPS. So like IPS, it prevents and blocks stuff, while IDS only generates information and processes it. So in this case IDS will be a SIEM, and SOAR will probably be the IPS, but then it's still a feature that is still coming up and it's not been industry industry priority. So in that way SIEM is still forward, but then in the way it looks like the companies are coming forward with this SOAR product, it might take over SIEM in coming future times. So there are a few key capabilities for modern SIEMs. So you can go and research it about yourself, but then there's a plethora of it out there. But then the one of the few things I'll be explaining today is one, threat intelligence, which combines internal data with third-party intelligence feeds on threats and vulnerabilities. So the data that be contained in our maybe a breach or something or type of malware will be will be compared with outside data, and just not say outside data, but then outside news on seeing the latest malware and stuff like that. So that is what the threat intelligence means. So go and snoop around and looking for the latest data and breaches. And the next capability for SIEM is data aggregation. It collects and aggregates data from security system and network devices, so from router and what they call maybe a bunch of other devices, like we have our firewall, IPS, and then maybe some email protection prevention or DDoS prevention system and stuff like that. So it collects the data from there and it publishes in the SIEM. Okay, so next one, it's a dashboard. It creates a visualization to let staff review event data, identify patterns and anomalies. So like I said earlier, the threat intelligence and the data aggregation and stuff, the data will be produced here from the devices, network equipment and whatever, show and visualize and show stuff in what they call in it will unite all the data and it will streamline the data and show it in one place where the security individual, be the head or whoever the individual is, or SOC analyst or whatever the person is, that person can go through and have in a single platform, he can see all the breaches and can connect the dots if need be. So next thing is retention, which is stores long-term historical data useful for compliance and forensic investigations. Built-in data lake technology facilitate unlimited low-cost long-term storage. So as in the security world, we know that sometimes we only find a breach upon 6 months or 1 year after the breach has happened. So having a big data lake or a good amount of storage for dating back to 1 year or more than 1 year is very useful, because we need to go back and check when the particular breach happened, how it happened, and having a plethora of data at our disposal is very much beneficial. Okay, so there are advantages to having a SIEM in our organization, which I'll be saying a few next. First is a basic security monitoring. It's not an in-depth security monitoring, but then it's something is better than nothing. So for like in-depth cases, there are specific devices. I mean, a SIEM alone is not going to do everything, but then a SIEM can do help us and give us a better view of things and what is going on. So the next thing is security incident detection. It detects any incidents or any issues. As an example, what they call some malicious file in a zip file or something like that, zip folder or something like that. And next is notification and alerts, where the notification alerts will be published on a dashboard where we can go and see what has occurred, and if anything is a breach or anything, the alert will pop it up and we will be alerted. Okay, so next thing is forensic and incident cost. So it's inevitable that everyone is and possibly will be breached at some stage. There's no perfect security platform in the world. But then this whole benefit of having a SIEM is that it shows the cause, where was the loophole, where did it come from, and it can help us to betterment our security infrastructure of a particular organization. So like everything in the world, there are disadvantages as well. There's no such thing as perfection in the world. There's always room for improvement. So one of the cons is expensive. SIEM is not cheap, but then it's honestly a very good what they call a very good investment to put into your organization. So next, they are difficult to operate and manage. So like usually like IPS and stuff like that, false positive do occur time to time. SIEM also has its negative sides, where there are possibilities where false positive might occur, but then given that you set the rules properly and you've implemented it and configured it properly, there's a very slim chance that SIEM will give issues, but then that's a topic for another day. So yeah. So as you can see in the Gartner chart here, there is an example of quite a number of SIEMs like Snort, Splunk, Fortinet, McAfee, and Wazoo and whatnot. So these are the how, as a person in the industry, this is the Gartner chart where you can see who are the leaders and stuff like that, so you can accordingly choose the right type, or consider the right type of, but then the one that you can know who are consistently performing. So this thing is released on every year, so we can just go through this, and if you're trying to implement a particular SIEM or something into your infrastructure, this will be a good starting point so that you can know who are the best players in the game. So as we all know, honestly, there are some downfalls for SIEM, but then it's a very helpful device, a security device that will further make our security infrastructure more solid and make it harder for individuals to try to breach and try to come into our particular system. So honestly speaking, SIEM is a very good device that everyone, if given they can afford it, should try to implement into their particular infrastructure or whatnot. So that is all from me. Okay, thank you.